Welcome to AI Cafe Conversations, where neuroscience meets artificial intelligence for executive leaders. I am Sahar Andrade. AI training is failing your workforce, not because of technology, but because of neuroscience. Right now, organizations have invested $47 billion, billion with a B, not million, dollars in AI initiatives this year alone. Yet adoption rates have flatlined. Teams are confused. Middle managers are afraid to ask questions. And executives are wondering why their carefully crafted AI strategies feel like pushing water uphill. Today, we are exposing the neuroscience truth that executives are missing and revealing how to fix what others can see. Because this is what I have discovered coaching leadership teams throughout AI rollouts. You can't brute force behavior. That's a given. You have to wire for it. And this is the missing link that most organizations are missing. They're doing it the other way around. They're not looking at how the human brain is adopting new changes, but they're trying to brute force the behavior. That's why they're failing. So grab your coffee and let's dive into the neural reality behind AI adoption failures and the executive playbook that equally works. Before I go through all that, I just wanted to share with you something that happened this week for AI that is major. ChatGPT released ChatGPT Agent that allows ChatGPT to complete complex online tasks on your behalf. It seamlessly switches between reasoning and action, conducting in-depth research across public sites, uploaded files, and connected third-party sources like email and document categories, and performing actions such as filling out forms and editing spreadsheets, all while keeping you in control. It's now available for Plus and Team plans, and it has been rolling out gradually for the Plus users. I just got it yesterday. I still didn't play with it. I love it. I'm gonna probably do something with it this weekend. So with ChatGPT agents built in virtual browser, the core functionality of Operator has been integrated. The standalone Operator experience actually will be deprecated in the coming weeks. And this is awesome news because it's gonna make sure that we use basically ChatGPT at its best. This is to use ChatGPT agent, you can select agent mode and you can find the agent mode in the tools, those like little lines next to, right under where you enter your prompts. They look like almost musical equalizer waves or something like that. If you click on that, if you see agent mode, that means you have it. If not, it's going to be there very soon. If you are a free account, it has not been rolled out yet. Once enabled, just describe the text you have liked to complete and the agent will begin executing it for you. It will pause to request clarification or confirmation whenever needed. You can also interrupt the model at any time to provide additional instruction. I got this from the help center of ChatGPT, but I just wanted you to know this is huge. And the rumors are that Sam Altman said that ChatGPT 5 is coming out within the next couple of weeks probably, so we'll see what happens. Going back to what we were talking about the AI integration in organizations and how they are failing. I'm gonna start by talking about the project. I call it the Project Apollo syndrome. So let me tell you about Marcus. I changed the name for privacy. It's a client that I work with. He is a VP at a Fortune 500 company, and when I asked him how their teams were using their AI tools, he looked down at his notes and said, honestly, I think everyone's is just pretending they know what they're doing. The launch has been ambitious, slick branding, inspirational keynotes, cross-functional task force. They even called it Project Apollo. And yet, 2 months in, adoption had flatlined. That's when it really hit me. They built the spaceship, but they forgot the ground control. That is what I call the Project Apollo syndrome. It's everywhere in AI rollouts today. There is excitement, money, headlines, and a powerful engine aimed at the future. But if you remember what happened to the challengers and later Columbia, you know that technical brilliance without operational grounding can turn into a disaster. Here is the neuroscience reality. When people are overwhelmed by change, especially change that makes them feel stupid or obsolete, the brain goes into protection mode. This is not laziness. This is survival. Specifically, the amygdala hijacks logic when it senses uncertainty. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning and learning, shuts down under threat. And the nervous system enters fight, flight, freeze, or fawn states. Remember, the first function of the brain is to protect us against danger, either real or perceived. Now imagine launching AI tools into that storm of stress and asking for innovation. It's not resistance, it's dysregulation. And no amount of dashboards will fix that. The data backs this up. Recent studies show that 46% of employees are excited about AI. Yay! Double from 6 months ago. Yet almost half of knowledge workers say they don't know how to use it or what to use it for. Why? Because most AI training is not training, it's content. One size fits all webinars, future of work slide decks, an LMS course that checks the compliance box. It's the equivalent of giving your team the spaceship manual in French and asking them to launch. You might find a couple of people that speak French, but not everybody does. That's not empowerment. That's abandonment. As executives, we need to understand that it's not enough to strap your team to a rocket. You need clear communication, emotional readiness, and behavioral protocols that hold up under pressure. Otherwise, what starts as a moonshot becomes a free fall. Why do I keep talking about neuroscience? I know I shared that with you before. I am the only AI coach that has medical education and medical background. That's why. I always go to the brain. I always go to the root of any issue that we have. Without going to the root and solving the problem from the root, it will never be solved. You're going to be just dealing with symptoms, a band-aid, and that you will keep coming back to these symptoms that will fester and will grow with time. That's why I always go to the root. So how do we transition in AI leadership? How do we transition blindness in AI leadership? Here is the brutal truth about change that most executives miss. Leaders see systems, people feel emotions. Let me share Anna's story. Anna was a talented manager at a Fortune 500 company who came to me struggling with burnout and constant stress. Her organization had announced rapid digital transformation, emphasizing new processes and software. Leadership communicated extensively, town halls, newsletters, videos, emails, yet ignored individual emotional responses. Anna, once vibrant and engaged, began retreating, overwhelmed by constant pressure, unanswered questions, and perceived insincerity from higher ups. She quietly disengaged. She told me that other talented peers were following suit. Productivity plummeted. Leadership wondered why their carefully crafted initiative failed spectacularly. Anna's story is your story, and it's every leader's nightmare. Here is what neuroscience teaches us about this failure. There is a critical difference between change and transition. Change is situational, a new office, revised role, fresh technology. Transition is psychological. It's the internal emotional upheaval humans experience adapting to new realities. Yet many leaders are impatient. They are eager to push past the messy emotional status. Denial, anxiety, confusion, expecting teams to snap immediately into alignment with the renovated vision. But this impatience is neurologically damaging. It's like they think they have a wand that they will just, or magic dust that they will just spread and everybody will be under the spell. It doesn't work that way. Here is why. Resistance is not defiance, it's survival. Change triggers a primal threat response, activating the brain amygdala, the fear center. Our brains crave certainty and predictability. The ambiguity inherent in AI adoption elevate cortisol levels, amplifying stress and narrowing cognitive capabilities like creative problem solving and rational decision making. Ironically, the urgency with which leaders often present AI changes amplifies these neurological threats. When we rush our teams through emotional transitions, we strengthen their resistance, embedding anxiety deeper into organizational DNA. Then there is what I call the fake empathy trap. Many leaders employ rehearsed empathy, trying to sugarcoat bitter pills. They probably attended a couple of compassionate leadership training without taking really the soul of the training away, but they just took a couple of expressions. And they will say, I know how hard this AI transition can be, they say. Yet, their eyes betray urgency and impatience. This fake empathy triggers cognitive dissonance in employees, deepening distrust and fueling disengagement. Neuroscience explains why. Humans instinctively detect insincerity. Mirror neurons, which help us read emotional cues, fire rapidly upon detecting mismatches between the verbal expressions and body language. When leaders mimic empathetic phrases without genuine feelings, teams subconsciously recoil, cementing emotional barriers. Your people can literally feel when you are not being authentic about the AI journey. So, what's the nervous system reality of AI adoption? Let me paint you a picture of what's really happening in your organization during AI rollouts. Imagine you have got a full orchestra. Every department has an instrument. The AI system is the sheet music, and you, the leader, are supposed to be the conductor. But instead of creating harmony, when you are hearing is static, because everyone's wearing noise-canceling headphones. Marketing doesn't know how sales is using AI. HR isn't talking to IT. Middle managers are afraid to ask questions. And individual contributors, the lifeblood of your organization, are watching quietly from the sidelines, wondering if they are about to be replaced. The result? Confusion, shame, silence, and zero transformation. Here is the neuroscience breakdown of what's actually happening in your people's brains during AI adoption. When the nervous system is dysregulated, which happens during uncertain change, people enter one of four stages. Like I said before, 4 F's: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fight looks like active resistance or pushback against AI tools. Flight shows up as avoidance or making excuses not to use the technology. Freeze manifests as paralysis. People simply stop trying. And fawn appears as compliance without engagement, going through the motions without real adoption. None of these states are conducive to learning or innovation, yet this is the neurological environment most AI rollouts create. Here is the most important leadership question no one is asking. What emotional state is my AI rollout producing in the workforce? Because behavior follows emotion. If your people feel curious, they will explore. If they feel empowered, they will practice. If they feel safe, they will share wins and ask for help. But if they feel incompetent, they will hide. If they feel afraid, they will freeze. If they feel alone, they will disengage. No policy can override that. No platform can rewire that. Only emotionally intelligent leadership can. The uncomfortable truth is this: your AI transformation is not stalling because of tech. It's stalling because people don't feel safe enough to try, fail, and grow. Executive neural recalibration protocol. So what works instead? Here is a new blueprint for AI adoption that's grounded in neuroscience, emotional safety, and behavior change. First, train your nervous system regulation. Start with emotional readiness. Before teaching prompts, normalize confusion. Name the fear in the room. Build sessions that include stress education and permission to be a beginner. Let people breathe before they build. I worked with a client who started every AI training session with this statement: everyone in this room will feel confused at some point today. That's not a bug, it's a feature. Confusion means your brain is making new connections. Second, make it personal and role-based. Don't train AI skills, train use cases. Show a marketeer how to write an ad. Show a manager how to summarize the feedback. Show a leader how to prep for a board meeting with AI. This 15-minute transformations, not 3-hour theory sessions. The brain learns best in small, specific chunks that connect to existing neural pathways. Third, create internal AI champions. Find your curious few, the 5% to 10% who are experimenting in silence. Empower them, spotlight them, let them teach others. Transformation doesn't trickle down from leadership, it spreads sideways through trusted peers. These champions become your neural translators, speaking the language of their departments while modeling safe experimentation. Fourth, tie AI to identity, not just an output. People need to see AI not just as a tool, but as an extension of their personal value. How does it make them feel better, smarter, more creative, less stressed? If you don't tell that story, fear will tell another one. And fear always wins in the absence of clear narrative. Fifth, lead with vulnerability, not vision boards. Leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about modeling the learning process. Admit when you are experimenting. Share your awkward AI moments. Ask your team how they are really feeling about the changes. When your people see you safe in the unknown, they will start to follow. Vulnerability creates psychological safety, and psychological safety is where innovation lives. Here is what this looked like in practice. One CEO I worked with started every team meeting by sharing one thing he tried with AI that week, including what didn't work. Within a month, his organization had the highest AI adoption rate in their industry. The neuroscience is clear. Mirror neurons fire when we observe behavior we want to replicate. If you want your team to experiment with AI, they need to see you experimenting first. Here is what I want you to remember from today's conversation. People don't resist AI. They resist the way AI adoption makes them feel. Your role as an executive isn't to be the smartest person in the room about artificial intelligence. Your role is to create the emotional and psychological conditions where your people feel safe to learn, experiment, and grow. This isn't a software problem, it's a somatic one. It's about nervous systems, not just systems. It's about transition psychology, not just change management. You build the spaceship. Now it's time to build the ground control. Start by asking yourself, are you truly seeing your team's emotional reality, or are you blinded by urgency? Are you speaking authentically about your own AI journey, or are your words empty scripts fueling resistance? The future won't wait, and your people can follow if they don't feel safe to try. Next week, we are diving into another critical piece of the AI leadership puzzle that executives are getting wrong. Until then, practice one act of vulnerable leadership around AI. Share one thing you're still figuring out. Watch how your authenticity creates permission for others to be honest about their own journey. This is AI Cafe Conversations. I am Sahar Andrade, your AI whisperer. Keep leading with both intelligence, artificial, and emotional. Before I close today's episode, I just wanted to share great news, personal news that I wanted to share with you. My book, The Coach's Brain Meets AI, is gonna be released on Amazon on August 8th. Yay, I am so excited because of what the book stands for. I'm the only person writing about AI coaching who actually has medical education. While other authors Googled brain science or took an online course about neuroscience, I studied anatomy and neuroplasticity firsthand. There are fewer than 10 AI coaching books, and none combine medical expertise with practical implementation. My book launches August 8th, the first neuroscience-based guide to AI coaching. It works not only for coaches, but it works for leaders that also want to build their teams, and it works for entrepreneurs. I will be putting the link into the description. Look for it on August 8th on Amazon. Till then, I wish you well and more knowledge of AI.